How's it going, everybody? It's man Kamar here. Make sure you hit the like in the chat when you get here, so that way we can have this very easy conversation. So that way we can be able to. We're gonna solve this mystery tonight because I figured out who is Butthurt Blue, and it's really not who you think it is. A person has a really, really good reason for Butthurt Blueness. So what I'm gonna do? The Gone 11, the actual link is in the chat. Well, before we go forward, before we even have this conversation, let's go over Indiana as a state. We're gonna go over Indiana as a state itself, because that's where you start. Like me, I grew up in Mississippi. Okay, and once you leave the area of Mississippi, because you can pretty much get locked into thinking that nothing actually works from the government side, it's pretty normal until you go to other places and interact with personnel in other places. I told the story many a times of how when I went to my first base at a Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, I was a school resource officer there, even though I was like barely 18, but I was still a school resource officer there. They was giving us like an actual walkthrough of the actual school, and there was like some diplomats from other countries with us. So I'm looking at this school. I mean, dude, this school looked like the space station because me, in the Mississippi Delta, like you get books that are 16, 17, 18 years old from the private school. So it goes from the private school that are top notch to the Christian school that are like second in place from top notch. And then it goes down to the actual high school level and everything else. That's how the books kind of go. So by the time we get the book has been out for 15 or 16 years. I didn't know that every other place worked differently than that. I did not know that. I thought that black people just normally got or school districts that was in predominantly black areas just normally got books. They were 16, 17 years later than everybody else. I just thought that as a normal thing. But once you start going towards other places, you realize things work a lot differently. Give a shout out to the people who are here first. What's going on, Larock? What's going on, Malay Amaru Kula? I know I said that wrong. Ayo, what's going on? Ike, Iman Perry, Jet Life, Gifted since birth 25, running on songs, Spiritual Logic Hulk, Vicky the Kid You. All right. So the reason why we're having this discussion, it matters most where you live at. It really matters most where you live at. Where you choose to live at, that is a choice. Unless you're taking care of like some elderly parent or you're stuck in a situation where you're taking over the house because it got inherited to you, you pretty much outside of those instances, you pretty much get choice of where you want to live in the country. Because a lot of these people, they live in blue areas. They live in blue areas for a reason. They like the way things work. They expect government services. The trash runs on time. The water flows correctly. When it snows, the actual government services come out and get the snow off the ground. Well, at least I know they do around Indianapolis International Airport. They really don't do it outside of that. But at least in blue areas, you have a modicum of things working very well. That's in the blue state. Blue areas and blue states works extremely well. Blue areas and red states don't really work all that well, even though they have a vibrant, progressive population, which is why people live in these population centers. But at the end of the day, you're responsible for living in the area that's going to give you the best access to economic outcome. So, what we're going to do first, the first thing we're going to do, okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to go to Google and we're going to look up something that's very clear about this Indiana. If you go to Google and do a simple Google search, I already know this information, by the way. When I put in Google, who control the House in the Indiana State House? The answer, as of 2023, the Republican Party holds supermajorities in both chambers of the General Assembly. Republicans outnumber Democrats in the Senate 39-10 majority. That is well over two thirds. Well over two thirds. And in the House of Representatives, by a 70-30 margin. Again, well over two thirds. So the state house and the state senate is ran by the Republican Party. Okay, let's go to something else for Google. What do you think if the actual state house and the state senate is controlled by a over two-thirds majority? What are the chances that you think the actual Republican U.S. House and the Republican U.S. Senate actually revolve around those things too? So let's look at it. Because it's important to know what is actually going on in this area before you actually discuss the actual person. Okay? So what we're going to do here, start off with some education. There we go. Now, as you can see, there are one, two, three, there are 9 districts. 9 districts. And of those 9 districts, only 2 are Democrats, which means the Republican Party has a supermajority when it comes to U.S. House seats in Indiana. Okay. Now we're going to look up who are the senators for Indiana. Okay. So now you have to look at the U.S. Senate for Indiana. 2 Republicans. They're both Republicans. So far, supermajority in the House, U.S. House, supermajority in the U.S. Senate, supermajority in the State House, supermajority in the state Senate. Let's see what party runs Indiana. Okay. Stop screen share. So what we're going to do, share screen. Governor of Indiana, Eric Holcomb of the Republican Party. There it is. Eric Holcomb of the Republican Party. Okay? So now you have a Republican damn that ran everything in that state. So let's look at this clown here.
Who, people? Remember, your ancestors died. They died for you to blindly vote for Democrats ever since 1964. Your ancestors died for your right to blindly vote for Democrats and never for Republicans. Vote blue no matter who. Remember, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black. Remember that. You don't vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you ain't black. Wait a minute. What day is it again? Vote blue, no matter who, people. Remember, your ancestors died.
Yeah. Like what AB Media doesn't understand that the parties did switch. Like the same people of the same area are the same problems. They didn't move up north, and the people up north didn't move south. Back then, they were called Democratic conservatives, and today they're called Republicans, and they are conservative right now. Those people did not move from those areas. Mississippi did not turn into New York or California overnight after the Civil Rights Act passed. We all know that. But when you're dealing with somebody who's so information resistant, those are the type of things that you actually run into. But without further ado, we're going to go over this actual live stream of this guy jumping on the panel. And you're going to see who is actually butthurt blue here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Black Brain Trust. This is open chat number 89. And we're just going to play it. And I'm going to stop it at several points. So that way we can correct the idiocy that comes out of this guy's mouth. So without further ado, let's play the actual video.
Well, I don't know when you came in on the stream. Where did you come in?
Probably about 10 minutes ago.
Okay. So you wanted to speak on the economy. I heard it. We played the clip of you saying it. So
okay.
The so-called left, right? Where are your sources that the economy is not doing good?
Direct question. Because he keeps complaining about the price of eggs, the price of oatmeal, the price of everything in society. Because to him, the economy is only good when he can afford stuff. But no one grades the economy on non-productive men. No one grades the economy on that. There's tons of ways that the economy is actually graded. But grading it on somebody who don't know what's going on, that's not how the economy is actually graded. Well, let's see what he says.
Uh, well, I don't have them with me right now, but the way people are,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, go on, man. Go ahead, AB.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the numbers do look good. I'm not gonna dispute that. Employment's at an all-time low, but
But he made a live stream the previous night talking about how the economy was not that good. That's the whole point of correcting the record and giving them sources that the economy actually is good. Just because it's not good for you doesn't mean that the economy overall isn't good in general.
when you talk to people, they're not happy. I do understand the
Man, nobody cares about whether people are happy or not. It's about what does the numbers show.
numbers are what they are, and also groceries. The groceries are not going down.
Notice when the Democrats were in office, they passed an anti-inflation bill. Now that the Republicans are in office, nobody's asking the Republican Party to pass any type of bill because the economy only matters when Democrats are in office. Once Republicans get access to power, nobody no longer cares about the economy or trying to get the Republican Party to do anything about the economy. It's only when the Democrats are in charge of things where somebody needs to do something for the economy. We don't even hold the Republican Party to any type of standard when it comes to the economy itself.
Now I understand it takes
Okay.
time, and that's not entirely Biden's fault, but there's a lot of stuff coming up. Like next month, they're going to start back student loan payments, and um, the economy's going to take a hit. And I just
Student loan payments, student loan forgiveness is a left wing idea. The Republican Party was the main ones who was voting against the student loan payments or holding off the student loan payments for a period of time. It was the Republican Party who didn't want any of that stuff happen. So I don't know how a guy who's feigning like he's running all this Republican interference, but the things that he's concerned about are left wing things that are not going to happen in his state where his governor is a Republican, U.S. House, U.S. Senate, supermajorities Republican, state House, state Senate, 2/3 majorities. He knows full well there is no way in the world that he's going to get any of the left wing things that he's complaining about in that solidly red state. But he chooses to live there anyway. Not only that, he wants to run left wing or right wing interference, feigning like he's on the right, but we know full well he lives in Indianapolis.
hope it
Because of
doesn't get
student loans? Because of student loans? I'm just
No,
trying to
because
understand.
no, because they're going to start making them repay it next month. They've been on a
But
or-
they only have to repay up to 5% of their income.
Okay.
You understand that, right? So that means if
So he didn't even know anything about the issue. He just thought those people were just going to restart payments at the highest point. This is what I mean by you have all these ideas of how things work. You come into conversation with nothing, and then people have to catch you up on everything.
they're making, let's say, minimum wage in fact, if they're making minimum wage, I don't even think they have student loans at this point. I think that's been, I think they were the first ones to get their loans completely absolved or resolved. And so the only ones who really have to pay are ones who meet the who are above the poverty rate, the poverty levels, federal poverty levels. So I'm not sure if that's going to impact the economy as you're saying, but to this point, I don't know where you said you came in 10 minutes ago, but let's just look at my sources. And we've covered this earlier, but I'll just do it for you.
Again, he brought no sources. Mike V is about to bring sources, and none of these sources are left wing in nature. Not none of them.
This is from Bloomberg. The economy is going Biden's way. Now he has to get voters to give him credit. This is from Bloomberg.
Okay.
This is from CNBC. Morgan Stanley credits Bidenomics for much stronger than expected GDP growth. According to these sources in factcheck.org, let me see if I can pull up fact check. Factcheck.org says that the economy is also doing good too. Then the numbers reflect that. So that's why I'm trying to understand, where did you get that statement last night that you made on the Coliseum that the left, the Black Brain Trust, Mike V, that the economy is doing good, but it's not being reflected where?
Well, one I'm listening to the economist Richard Wolff. That's one of the guys that said the economy.
So you're going to go to a straight up Marxist economist as the verification that the economy is not doing good, when Marxists don't even care about those type of things. What's going on, Quizzer Prince?
How you doing this evening, Joe? Man of tomorrow.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm just going through this craziness. But, dudes just grasping the straws, don't know how to pull their own weight, don't know how to do proper research. They make all these live streams, even though they have no idea what they're talking about. And you have to pull these dudes around because they just dead weight. Let's keep going.
I'm not doing as good as the numbers might seem.
But Rick Wolff is a Marxist economist, so he has a Marxist lens at everything he's looking at. Not saying he's wrong, but he uses a Marxist lens. And so for all of the quote unquote anti-left rhetoric that goes on in this space, I'm surprised that anybody would use a Marxist economist's view on the economy, but then revert back into a non-Marxist perspective. I don't understand that lens, but I get it. Any source that can be used to prop up the idea that the economy is not doing good.
Let me address because I did hear you guys mention Ron DeSantis. Under no circumstances would I vote for Ron DeSantis.
But you're not on the left, and the guy runs Florida, a whole Republican state, and you keep pretending that Republicans don't believe any of the stuff that Ron DeSantis is saying or doing, when it's exactly what the history shows that that's what they say or do. What do you think, Quizzer Prince?
I'm gonna say it and say it again. I tell many people, you got these so-called conservatives. They love whiny liberal stuff. They love it. They want everything. They want their cake and eat it too. I mean, these same conservatives won't say nothing about it's to pull yourself up by the bootstrap. You the one got the student loan debt. Okay, fine. What about this corporation that made a dumb, stupid decision, and the government, they taking government money, bailing them out so they can make some more dumb, stupid decisions to give to their stockholders? I mean, you never hear this kind of rhetoric coming from
Nope.
these type of people. I mean,
Because
I'm
it's
like,
okay to rip off the government. It's okay to rip off the government. It's totally okay. It's just that the government's broke whenever they need things for people.
yeah,
They're
ABL
never
used
broke
to,
enough for actual tax cuts. They're never that broke.
yeah, ABL used to holler that all the time. Oh, you know, the government we ain't got the money. We ain't got the money. Lo and behold, COVID happened. All these companies, they got double, triple rounds of tax benefits from the taxpayers.
And they
Not
got it
one word.
first before people and small businesses got it.
You don't hear one word. I don't. I got into a discussion with when I was making delivery in the DMV area Monday morning. Blame the government for everything. I'm like, look, you the customer. I'm not gonna go back and forth for you about because I don't discuss religion and politics with people, especially if I don't know. But he blamed the government for everything. I'm like, oh well, what do you want me? You need to vote some more, vote some more people in. I mean,
But
what you want me to do about it?
but
I
but they
mean,
try to bring it up in your face to try to browbeat you on who you actually voting for. But the problem that they're actually complaining about is right wing in basis, and it's the right wingers' fault. But for some reason, they want to try to hold you responsible for who they voted for and who they don't consistently vote for. What's going on,
I,
Nicole?
it never.
Oh, okay, all right. Nicole's waiting for his mic. Let's keep going.
It never
I'll
ceases
tell you
to
that straight
amaze
up.
me
Okay.
about.
He's a racist grifter, and everybody sees that. That's some goofy shit he's doing in Florida with the slavery benefited somebody. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, but when Candace Owens say it, everybody's okay with it. All these so-called red bill dudes are 100% okay with it. When the actual Texas textbooks say that they wasn't slaves, they were migrant workers, everybody's okay with it. There's no complaints about it. So again, these are things that left-wing people complain about. Right-wing people don't complain about Ron DeSantis. They're happy with Ron DeSantis. But let's keep going.
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay. I mean, he thinks he can win the nomination for the party. I don't see that.
He's not
happening,
going to beat
but
Trump.
I think
okay.
Republicans that we can agree on. But if the objective of the Republicans is to pull in more black votes, especially from black men, I don't think that Ron DeSantis is the ambassador of that agenda. I think that black men going into the Republican Party today is walking into a burning house. I don't see what they're going to get out of it. When I hear people in the space talk about Democrats and leftist policies, I'm not sure if they understand that the Republicans have zero policies that would be advantageous to black men at this point. Unless you know of something I don't, because last time Trump's policies, was supposed to bring carrier into Indiana, that was a very short stint. They got $1 billion out of it, and then they took off and went to Mexico and left a lot of black men who worked at carrier high and dry and unemployed with COVID on top of that. I don't see anybody in this space who claims to be in opposition to what's considered to be the left actually having that conversation about black men suffering, trying to work extended hours because places like Indiana kind of ignored COVID restrictions and had a lot of these folks working on these assembly lines, under COVID conditions. I don't know. I don't know where some of these folks, at least maybe under your stream or maybe on that side of the space, where they're coming from with these ideas that Biden is doing such a poor job. I don't see it reflected anywhere in these sources. I'm seeing all sorts of numbers boasted. It says right here. Oh, actually, are we looking at the screen? Yeah, it says right here. The economy added 12.6 million jobs under Biden, putting the total 3.2 million higher than before the pandemic, which is Trump's administration.
Okay.
I mean, the term Bidenomics means that he has. The term Bidenomics means that he has a policy in place, right? An economic policy in place. When you start talking about Trump and a lot of black men saying they came up under Trump, I find that very dubious, because how can that be the case if the numbers are not reflected there?
Okay, I will explain this. These people got a check under Trump, and they didn't have to do anything for it. That's what they mean by they came up. They got a check from the government, a stimulus, two of them, stimulus check from the government, and they didn't have to do anything to get that money. That's what they mean by they came up under Trump, because they got two checks and they didn't have to do anything. That's what they mean by they came up. It doesn't mean anything tangible. It doesn't mean anything about jobs. Doesn't mean anything about government contracts. Doesn't mean anything about anything. They're talking about them small ass $1,200 payments that they got because Trump was in office. That's what they mean by they came up.
And then suddenly black men just stop coming up under Biden. I don't understand where some of these cats are coming from, but maybe you can explain their side of that argument.
Well, when we see,
So he was asked a direct question about explaining that. So he was asked a direct question about explaining his actual reason about how people came up under Trump, right? And let's see what his actual direct response to that exact question is.
Biden, we see a lot of symbolism. Like, for example, his latest scheme, he wants to make a statue of Emmett Till and Emmett Till's mother, make a excuse me, trying to get the word out, monument of Emmett Till and Emmett Till's mother.
All right, okay. So the question was, could you explain how black people came up under Trump? And the answer was an Emmett Till statue in Mississippi. That is what the response was.
Yeah, I think that's a part of American history, don't you think?
Yeah, but I would have preferred he arrested Carolyn Bryant and charged her before she died.
Okay, all right. So prosecutors within the area prosecute the actual person that needs to be prosecuted. The president cannot prosecute anybody in a local area because he's not in law enforcement. Okay? That's how that works. The prosecutors prosecute, not the president that prosecutes. He wanted to do a memorial for the actual victim of that actual that act of domestic terrorism that didn't need to happen. But at the end of the day, this guy's mad. He's more mad at the monument because of this idea than realizing it was the prosecutor in Mississippi, conservative ass Mississippi, that wouldn't bring this woman to justice. I mean, you just gotta know what the hell's going on.
The state's attorneys who were in the state that she was in, that she resided in. I mean, they couldn't even find her for quite some time until they saw that she was in hospice or somewhere where she was supposed to be at. I think that's out of Biden's control. I don't think that Biden is in charge of arresting people, but I do get your point. I think that when you have Republicans and conservatives who actually were protecting this woman, I mean, the fact that these same people want to deny that that race was even involved, it was a racial lynching. We had Rand Paul, the son of Ron Paul, filibustering the anti-lynching bill. I didn't see not one content creator in the manosphere even highlighting this. The very lynching bill that would have protected George Floyd, for that matter, or many other black men who have been choked to death by these Anglo-Saxon men. What I hear from a lot of these people in the space is, just hilarious is more important than, this brother being choked out on the train by Penny.
All right, with this law enforcement thing, I don't see anything wrong with law enforcement. Just put them under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and the problem is solved. Whenever they get in trouble, they'll just have a tribunal. No unions are needed. You fire them with the actual, you break the contract with the actual city or state. You pay out all those bad actors or people who are unwilling to actually go to an actual standard that is actually constitutional, and you put everybody else under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Because under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, you just can't go around complaining to the media. Man, you got a lot of background, man. Yeah, so you can't go to the media and talk to them about things. No, you don't have whistleblower protection in the United States military. You actually don't have whistleblower protection as a police at all, period, anyway. But that's how you solve the police issue. It's really not that hard. It is incredibly easy. It doesn't even take that much to even deal with it. And whenever they mess up, the actual money that's paid out should come out of their pensions. Also problem solved.
I don't hear any, I don't hear people talking about this. So when you say the left, what is your perspective on the left? How do you define that?
How do I define the left? People who are for universal health care.
Make sure you keep this in mind. People on the left are for people who are for universal health care. Make sure you keep that in mind before we go forward.
People who want to not be in a proxy war, which is another problem that I have with Biden right now. He's in a proxy war with Russia and everybody's.
Well, you have to understand it. Look, if you don't understand the business of the country, the actual Ukraine war will actually befuddle you. At the end of the day, Russia is our enemy. We spend billions of dollars each year to fight Russia. If we can spend billions of dollars each year that nobody literally cares about, and we spend like a couple extra billions paying another country to go fight our war for us, that's a good deal. That is a good deal. But if you don't understand the business of the actual country, everything befuddles you. And here's the thing, worse stuff would be happening if Trump was still in office. Trump wouldn't have gave Ukraine anything. He would have just did Putin's bidding all the way and gave Russia whatever it wanted out of that area. So it's good that Donald Trump is not president, because he would have gave Russia whatever they actually wanted.
Sees that with Ukraine. You there?
That's your interpretation of the left? That's your interpretation of the left?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay.
So the left is the war in Ukraine and universal health care. Keep that in mind.
Let me not take up a lot more time. Anybody else on the panel have any questions for AB Media?
Yeah, where do they have universal health care in the country? AB Media.
Universal health care in the country. This country or?
Yeah, where do they have universal health care in this country?
Nowhere.
So how are you worried about universal health care when it's nowhere in the country?
Okay.
All right.
Did you mean universal health care or affordable health, the Affordable Health Care Act?
Universal.
No.
Okay.
You heard it right. So
Okay.
what was the second issue that you seen the left pass? Because we don't have universal health care anywhere in the country. Only people who do have universal health care are politicians. They are taken care of from cradle to grave. Let's keep going. So you're against just all wars, period?
No, I was for them going in Afghanistan and getting Osama bin Laden. Let's not get it twisted. But
dude, it took a while to get Osama bin Laden. Dude, the Iraq War started like circa 2002, maybe 2003. They got bin Laden when Barack Obama was in office. That's a long ass time, man.
In fact, what's going on, man? In fact, we were after bin Laden in 2001 after 9/11. We heard it was him. we were dead on it from there, supposedly. And we were under a terrorist alert. If you guys remember, yellow alerts, red alerts, and all those alerts at the that Bush and them were playing on us and driving us up and down and then jerking everyone around on that. And we didn't finally get him until he was out of office. 8 years. 8 years was 9 years later.
So you can't say that, oh, I was okay with him getting bin Laden, but dude, there was a whole war in between there, and a war that lasted well after the dude was dead. So you were for the war, bro. Believe it or not, you were for it. Keep going.
He may not have known it, but he was.
Yeah. Okay, but how long did that take, though?
Probably about, let's see, probably around 10 years.
Okay.
According
How
to
long did we say?
whenever the war started and when Obama claimed they killed him, allegedly killed him.
Okay, so you don't think that Osama bin Laden was killed by the United States government?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They say they have his body. But I've heard from from some other people that may not be true. But for now, yeah, I guess that's the truth.
Did you watch the interview with the well-known guy who was the guy who actually shot bin Laden to the face? Did you actually watch that interview with that
No, I
guy?
did not.
It's on YouTube. Yeah,
No, I did
the
not.
natural Navy SEAL guy. I'm not sure why he's famous because there was a team of like 27 people out there. But the guy who actually shot bin Laden through his eye, you could watch that interview from that guy who actually shot him. And he'll tell you the entire story about what they did with the barrier at sea and all of that. Because
Okay.
there are no sources that say that didn't happen. And I doubt that there's as much money and fame that guy got off of that story. I doubt that guy will come out here saying that if he did not take the shot.
Okay. I'll check it out. Okay.
But the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, a whole bunch of money was spent on. We went in those wars based off a lie. If bin Laden was right next to the Pakistani, army base or whatever, that means we could have got bin Laden a hell of a lot sooner than that. Which means we spent a hell of a lot more time in Afghanistan than we actually needed to be, because we actually let bin Laden go into a war.
I think his name is Chris Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Chris
Okay.
Kyle.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Hey, listen, man. Thanks for letting me
Yes,
up.
sir.
I think I've seen all I needed to see and heard all I needed to hear. Wonderful job. I think this is I think we've made our point. Anyway, thank you. And you guys say, hey, AB Media, you take care of yourself, all right? You take care.
All
Right, you guys take care.
The old rose in the breast pocket, man. Oh man, he has no idea he's about to get the fuck up out of here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's keep going, man.
Take care, man.
All right, so we could have got bin Laden in like I think 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
and that's Bush's fault. Don't trust me. I don't blame no Democrat. But that's Bush's fault.
Okay.
What was his name again? I'm sorry.
Chris Kyle.
I think his name is Chris Kyle.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
I think Chris Kyle was the guy who had like the most sniper shots in history. I don't think he's the guy who actually shot bin Laden. I think it's another guy, actually, who was on SEAL Team 6. Yeah. Yeah, because they did a movie after the Chris Kyle guy, the guy who eventually got killed by another veteran. But yeah, it's just that. All right, so you got anything else you see the left path other than proxy wars with actual Ukraine and universal health care that isn't there at all?
unfortunately, this is not necessarily the part of left that I listen to, but some of this are some of them are on this pro LGBTQ ABCDEFG stuff.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. That is a two-party thing, just like women is a two-party thing. Now, if the Supreme Court, who have a 6-3 supermajority, can take away or partially made it look like they was taking away abortion rights, how come the 6-3 supermajority don't take away LGBT rights?
Because the probably LGBT in the conservative ranks too.
Okay, so you tried to make it a left-wing issue when you know it's a both-party issue.
Well, I'm making a left-wing issue because I don't see the right putting the rainbow flag over the White House.
Well, what
Man,
difference? They still participated in it.
That's what I'm like, man. Shut the fuck up, bro. It's like that's your rationale. No, it's a two-sided thing. If they have a supermajority, they can vote down whatever they want to. They can remove rights whenever they want to. You
Is
just can't say because they hung a flag over the White House, it's now a left-wing issue exclusively. Like that shit doesn't even make any sense.
none whatsoever. I mean, it's oblivious for some people to think that a group of people won't jump to the Democratic Party to get what they want accomplished and then jump back to about like the log cabin Lincolns did.
Yeah.
Just so they can get, they want to be gay, but they want to be conservative too. And it's just everything negative is always the liberals' fault. I'm like, you do know it's like both sides of the same coin. Is I mean, no, you don't know what you're talking about. It's always the left. Okay, you don't think Republicans get abortions? You keep dreaming, okay? You keep dreaming.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Good
Go ahead,
point.
Joe.
No. Those are very good points. I just believe a lot of this is just being contrarian for certain types of reasons. We'll get into that in a little bit, but go ahead, MLT. Go ahead.
They may not put a rainbow flag, but they'll put a Confederate flag, though.
Fair enough.
People who have to remove their actual, you're worried about the symbolism of a flag being put up over the people who can actually take their rights away, who have the power to do that and not doing it.
Hey, AB Meat, I was looking at your channel, and
Okay.
I had some questions. Do you think Pearly Things is here for help black boys in the Supreme Court and legislation?
Probably. Hell no.
Oh, okay. Well, another question.
She's to her credit, she's come out and said she's in it for the money. So it is
Okay,
what it is.
I got you. Okay, so another question. Do you think No Voting, No Fucking was a Democratic sponsored commercial?
Yes, I do.
Okay, it wasn't. So
Okay, the funding for that was tied directly to an organization. I forget what the name of the organization, but it was help funded by Michelle Obama. Yes, I think No Voting, No Fucking was a Democratic plot. I also think what was the other one? Get Your Booty to the Close was them too.
okay, okay. If somebody who does it, that doesn't mean it's the Democratic Party. They didn't sanction that. They didn't sponsor it. I mean, if a person that happened to vote Democratic did it, that doesn't mean the Democratic Party did. I just thought I'd let that be known. So I don't know, man. I was looking at your channel.
To your point,
Okay.
to your point, Lou, I don't mean to interrupt you, but to your point, it will be the equivalent of the Manosphere making a campaign ad using memes.
Right.
It's not indicative of the Republican Party or the Libertarian Party. It's the Manosphere doing it. But see, we understand that aspect, but we don't understand that when it comes to No Voting, No Fucking.
Right, exactly. And then I was looking. I mean, you said you said Roland Martin is a clown. Your ancestors
Yes, he
didn't
is.
die. I was just asking. I was wondering where that was at when he asked you about, what's your problem?
Well, he actually blocked me on Twitter. I didn't really say anything bad to him.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You was trolling that dude. He called you a one-eyed blind man and he fucking blocked you. I was looking at the post. That's exactly what happened.
But he came out and said, called people punk asses because they didn't vote in 2022. Well, here's the problem. I didn't vote in 2022, so I took offense to that.
Then you're exactly who he's talking about. It's like, look, man, if you're gonna want to be a citizen of a country and you care about things that are happening in it, you show up every time. Because the opposition don't care about the country and they show up every time. Like, I don't know why people think this is a one and done system, but you have to keep showing up because they keep showing up. I don't get that.
So I made a little short say my ancestors died for your punk ass to buck dance for Hillary Clinton.
Okay,
And
well, I
you
got a
should,
question for you. Do you
What
want
is
to
that,
see
Morton?
political change in this country, AB Media?
yes, I do.
How do you get to see political change if you don't vote? How does that work?
Well, I was at work. You send a message to the person who's always begging and asking and acting like they own your vote that you don't own my vote.
Okay. So tell me a time in history where not voting got something done.
Not voting got something done. Civil rights movement.
That was voting.
Yeah.
God.
That was about
Mm,
voting. Getting the right
That
to
was,
vote.
yeah, it was
no,
all
they,
about.
they didn't trust me. They did that because they didn't want you to tear the country up.
Did black people vote or not?
Yes,
For that.
they switched parties once the Democrats decided they wanted to
Oh, so they
get
did
behind
vote.
civil rights.
So they did vote.
Yeah, mostly black folk were Republicans up till that time.
But they voted.
And,
Because
yeah,
because the Republican Party was the party that advocated for their interests
yeah.
at the time.
It's gone truth as I know it. Could you
Agreed.
tell
In fact,
me, since the parties did switch, what was the best time to be a actual black Republican since the parties did switch from the 1960s? Like, what is the Renaissance period? Could you name me any piece of legislation that was passed by a Republican administration that targeted black people and black people only during that? I'm talking about like 1960s to the present.
1960s to the present. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
After the civil rights legislation, obviously.
I was gonna say Dwight D. Eisenhower, but you said 1960s to the present. I can't think of any.
All right.
Because Nixon didn't care for us, and Reagan was most definitely didn't give a shit about us.
So which party do you vote for?
It depends.
Okay, so
I
what
mean,
are
you didn't actually participate the last time. So, all right.
It depends. If I like what the Republicans talk about, I might vote for Republican. If I like what the Democrats talking about, I might vote for the Democrat. It depends.
Okay, so do you think Ice Cube is a legitimate political actor?
Yeah.
how?
Well, he's using this he's using this celebrity for political action. What's the big deal?
Okay, so what did Ice Cube get passed at any other time in history? What piece of legislation that Ice Cube is solely responsible for anywhere in this country? Anywhere, anytime in history? Could you name me anything that Ice Cube is actually personally responsible for that's being passed?
Well, nothing right now, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Okay.
I mean, I get your point. He hasn't got any legislation passed, but that doesn't mean he should give up and go home.
I mean, but he's not participating in the actual process. He hasn't picked a side. You get
Why would
things
you
from
need to pick?
the side.
Why would you need to pick a side? You guys have stated yourself before I got on.
Bro, listen. Man, you have to understand that in order for you to participate, you have to know what's going on in the actual system itself. There's no way you can be this old as a 30-something-year-old dude and you don't know how democracy works. It just blows my mind that you got all this. Let's go back to it again. Let's go back to it again. Remember, he doesn't have a side pick, but
Blue, no matter who, people, remember, your ancestors died. They died for you to blindly vote for Democrats ever since 1964. Your ancestors died for your right to blindly vote for Democrats and never for Republicans. Vote blue no matter who. Remember, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black. Remember that. You don't vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you ain't black.
I would choose to say you're a dumb motherfucker who don't know shit about history. That's what he should have said. This is the person who acts like he's in the middle. Does that sound like a middle of the road statement, Nicole? Does that sound like a middle of the road statement?
No. He's actually taken a side with the right for grift. He's on a grift. At the end of the day, there's no doubt he's on a grift. AB Media actually, as much as I look at him and see how he's ignorant about a lot of things, he actually knows a bit more than he wants to lead on to. He actually does. He knows he has nowhere to go with the right, but at the same time, he can get a lot more views. He might be able to make some extra money and try to get on the right-wing grift at this stage and get on that plan. He knows there's nothing on that side. These guys are upset because the left hasn't given them every little thing that they want, and a couple things that they may not like, but they haven't gotten everything that they want. That's really it. That's really, these guys are, once again, as I've heard others say it, and we know it's true here now, these are disgruntled disgruntled people on the left. That's essentially what they are. There's not anything conservative or anything about anything he's talking about. The Republican Party has nothing that they've put out here that is within his interest. Nothing. You can sit here and talk about LGBTQ and all the alphabet game he wants, but this man is sitting in his state where he needs great health care and and actually assistance to really help him move forward in life, which is there's no problem with that whatsoever, and he's not getting that, especially for himself and others, and he wants to complain about the Democrats probably haven't given him everything that he wants, but yet he's in a state where the Republicans control the his
They
state
control
senate.
everything. They control everything. The only thing that's liberal is the mayor of Indianapolis. That's all.
That's it. That's it. They control all of
How
that.
you find yourself running right-wing interference?
And here they are not hooking them up at all. But yet he wants to say it's the Democrats. I mean, his position is ridiculous. But as I said, he understands that. I know that he does. But he's on the grift. There's this grift that these guys are on, and can he profiteer and do the best he can from that side, because that seems to be popular right now, and a lot of people are trying to jump on that on that bandwagon and play that for all it's worth. And that's really what I see, because there's no reasoning behind almost anything these guys are saying. And it's just not him alone, it's others. And you look at them and you test them, and they run the manosphere right wing talking points. They get out there like with Mark Lamont Johnson. They got out there with him and got lit up. You see some of these guys who got out there just got lit up. They can't say anything. This is what you see. This is very typical. But this is part of the grift that's going on at this stage. You have to recognize it for what it is, call it for what it is. He knows better. Okay, this man is not as out of it as he likes to seem, as he seems to be, or may like to seem that he is. He's not out of it. This guy's not out of it. He has an idea, but there's a grift that these guys are actually trying to benefit off of, and I think it's as insane as it is. But there you have it. There you're looking at that. No reasoning or any critical thought behind any of this. But this is what these guys are pushing. So I have to say, I can't sit down here and say this guy is just a dumb son of a bitch. He doesn't know anything. I cannot say that. I do know that he knows better, but he's on that grift. That's where he is.
But he mounted his actual attack among an insurmountable mountain, like left wing, like right wing interference running doesn't get you more left wing things. Like you can't, there ain't no way that that's gonna happen.
There is no reasoning behind what these guys are saying. There's not a lot of reasoning behind it. So when you hear things like this and you hear them talking in circles and talking crazy, that's really what this is. That's really what this is. Ask them about specific legislation that's going to benefit Black men. Forget about black boys. These guys are not serious about that. But let's just talk about black men. What legislation are the right wing conservatives, all right, the right wing conservatives or MAGA currently and so forth? What are they putting forth that's going to benefit you directly? Let's talk about that in the terms of policy. Let's just speak about that open. Let's talk about that. You hear crickets. There's nothing there. Nothing there. If he's listening in, I would like him to come up here and basically defend that.
Man, you that's not gonna happen, man. He has to be outnumbered like 30-1. Coward to rational human being for him to be doing anything. That's what they teach you over there on that side, is to outnumber your people and then don't let them talk and then filibuster through everything that is actually being said with zero panel moderation. It's kind of what happens.
Yeah. Like a mosh pit, a mosh pit of craziness.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But who else? If anybody else here, step up and defend some of this. Defend it.
Look, man.
That's all I ask.
That's why he lives in Indianapolis, because he can't mount a defense. He's expecting everybody to do all the work for him, like all the work in New York and where you at, Boston where Mike's at, Denver where I'm at. It's supposed to trickle down to help him in fucking Indianapolis. Not gonna fucking happen. Not gonna happen. Let's keep going here.
That both parties don't like us.
No, like what you're doing is that you have to understand both parties don't like you, but you still have to participate. It's kind of like if I want to see an NBA championship, and I'm not sure how the Denver Nuggets end up winning this year, but they did. That's my city. If I want to see an NBA championship, I got to choose the Eastern or the Western Conference. No matter what's going on, I got to be able to choose one if I want to see a champion of some sort, right?
Yeah.
There is no middle of the road. There's going to be a champion. There's going to be a winner. So in order for you to be able to see some type of progress, you can't wait just till the actual election, because you don't get to vote in the primaries. You don't even get to pick the candidates on the ballot. Now you're just waiting to be pandered towards in the actual election, and then you probably don't even end up getting anything. So people who organize for a side, they get exactly what they want to. The Jews are on both sides. Most Asians are on both sides.
So why do y'all yell at brothers who want to be on the right side?
You're not on the right side. You're in the middle, but you're attacking the left. That's different than just being plainly on the right. That's way different. Because when people are on the left and when people are on the right, you can coordinate to get stuff done because you got a mixed caucus of people. But when you got people who are in the middle, you can't really track where they are, and we on the left are doing things actually for black people, and you're kind of nowhere to be found, and you don't participate in the process, we're kind of out there on our own. And what is happening in this process is that you're leveraging our political participation when you haven't picked a side. If you're on the right, great. I never said not be on the right. I'm just saying, you're on the right, go out there and be on the right. Be out in front, out there on the right, so that way you can do that when you're actually on a political side. If you're not on the political side and nobody knows where you stand at, you'll never get anything tangibly done. Especially if I have to declare that I'm on the left and everybody else is not even participating or else standing there in the middle. You go to these southern states, you see that nobody actually participates in the actual election process. And the only thing they're doing is leveraging the actual collective failure of people who are. So how do you get progress your way? With your level of understanding, how do we get progress? Your specific way. How do very specific question. How do you get progress your way? This is a question you ask to BGS. This is a question you ask to Art Nustal. This is a question you ask to Tia Son Johnson. This is a question that you ask. Other than all this hanging out bullshit online, how do you get progress your way? How do you get it? But we're gonna see what this specific guy has to say. How do we get it?
Well, how do we get specific progress? Particularly with the Democrat Party, gotta put your foot down with them. And I just don't see that. I don't see that enough.
Okay,
Now,
no. You misunderstood the question.
Okay.
I asked you what are you going to do? Like, what is your plan to success? Because people are already showing up to vote on the left. They're not really showing up to vote on the right. I mean, on the right. We're talking about no policies on the right. They're on the right because it's just purely representation matters, and they got all these side projects and all that kind of
I'm
stuff.
not necessarily on the right.
But you can't attack people on the left unless you are on the right.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does make a lot of sense. That
doesn't make any sense. People on the left attack people on the left all the time. That doesn't make any sense.
Let me explain. If you're on the left, you already picked a side. You declared a side. You get to attack whoever you want to, left or right. But you haven't picked a side, whether it's left or right, but you only wanted to attack the left when it's convenient, the right when it's horrible, but you don't have a side declared.
So what?
Okay, well, you're not a legitimate political actor. The only thing you are a political saboteur at this point. We don't know where you are. We don't know where you stand. We can't coordinate with you with anything. You clearly don't, pretty much know anything about the process. And once you get cornered on, you're not even participating.
And y'all think you're going to gain independence with that attitude? Okay.
What is independence? Like, what does that mean?
The majority of the people are not registered as a Democrat or a Republican in this country. That's the attitude you're going to have toward them. That's how you're going to get more people to your side, to pick your side, the left.
Okay, AB Media. If that's true, what state in the United States have voted for an independent for a senator and an actual presidential candidate and an actual state legislature that is purely independent? If what you say is true, there should be at least one state in this union that has an independent assembly of some kind. Could you name me one of those?
No, there isn't one.
Even Bernie Sanders had to go with the Democrats. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay. So you know that being an independent is really not really picking a side. So you have to pick left or right if you want progress.
Why?
You got to be able to. Okay, because here's
You
You
have
can't-
to use one or the other.
Why?
all right, complex. Let me explain. Because no matter what your platform is, you got to caucus with somebody. You have to caucus with somebody. Even if you're Jesse Ventura, he caucused mostly with the left because he's a libertarian when he was a governor. So at the end of the day, in order to get your actual particular things through, you have to caucus with the side. Susan Collins from Maine claimed to be an independent, always actually lobbies or even votes with the actual Republican Party. Bernie Sanders is an independent, but can't get shit done on his own. He has to lobby with the actual Democratic Party.
Exactly.
So even if you are in the middle, like you claim you are, you still have to pick a side in order for you to get your agenda through. Because you just can't say, I'm going to stop at just being in the middle and not pick a side to get the actual things done. Because there's another step to this being in the middle. Because once you're in the middle, now you got twice the amount of work with half the representation because you didn't vote in the primary. So now you have to choose a side in order to get your caucus through. Because most of the things that you brought up are not even things that are even on the ballot. Universal health care, not on the ballot. Been sold out by the actual Democratic Party, by the way. Right? There was nobody in the Republican Party who was for universal health care or single payer at all. So the healthcare party and the people who actually did healthcare was on the left, not the right. And they're not even doing the universal healthcare thing because they're completely bought out and paid for by the actual insurance lobby. So
Yeah,
I'm
what else
asking
is
you, from your understanding of in the middle, what is your timeline to get to success your way with your understanding of how this works?
Again, another specific question. What is your timeline?
I don't know.
If you don't know, how are you going to be critical of a platform like ours?
Okay, you guys think we have all the answers?
No, what I'm saying is if you can't answer questions like that, then just understand that dudes like us are going to do live streams like this about guys like you. Do you understand that?
Fine.
Okay, so
AB
if
Media,
it's fine,
please
well,
understand how
just
the
hold
system
on,
works.
MOT, let me get this out just real quick. See, so AB Media, just on the record. So fine, then you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, bro. I don't want to hear shit when it comes to, you know, the BGS side or whatever that side you come from in terms of what it is that we're talking about and what we're on, because what just got put on display here over the last 30, 40 minutes here is the fact that you're not equipped to be critical of us when you can't answer the type of questions MOT was asking you.
I mean, in order to actually participate in the process, you got to have all this stuff figured out. You got to have a framework laid out. You got to have a pathway to success because you just can't hide in your bunker and wait till the perfect candidate comes around who says all this stuff that they're going to be able to do for you, because by being in the middle, you actually don't have any leverage depending on what state you're in. Like independents really don't have all that much type of leverage. Like California, New York, Colorado, like the independents don't get shit. They don't get anything. They have to vote with the majority party of what's going on. They have to wait till election day, look at the ballot, read the actual ballot, and that's just it. It's like you have to update your level of political engagement. Otherwise, you're just going to be waiting in your bunker and talking about things that are literally not even on the ballot. So like I said, if this LGBT thing is that much of a big deal to you, you should be knocking on the door of the Supreme Court, asking them how come they have not taken their rights away. Because this is something that they actually have the right to do. They gave them to them, they can take them away. Just like abortion rights. They had the rights to abortion, and they took them away. So we got to be able to understand how the actual system works, and you have to be able to have a level of participation that we can track. You can track my participation. I'm on the left. Our city works fine, even for black people who don't show up. City works fine. As long as you want to be productive, they got free training at Aurora Community College or Denver Community College or even Front Range Community College, all up and down the Front Range area, which is the Denver metro area. We solved all those issues already.
Okay.
And even if people are in the middle, they still vote for the left or right candidate because you don't want to live in right-wing areas in Colorado. No city services, no mass transit, nothing. You just stuck out there. Lights turn off at certain times in the night, depending on what small ass city you in. I'm like, all this stuff matters, bro. So what I'm saying is that, dude, you have to have a nuanced understanding of how this stuff works, so that way you can get the most out of the process. Because right now, the way you're going, you don't even have a pathway to even get anything out of the process at all. I want you to get some shit out of this shit. I don't want you just holding your vote and thinking that you're holding some hostage. I want you to have some real leverage out here. Leverage participation, man.
Okay, well, I haven't picked a side yet.
Okay. So there's only two legitimate sides, left or right.
Well, I
And
have
you
a
gotta
question.
choose one.
Oh, Cornell West is not a side? Okay.
Even if he gets elected, he'll run with the Democrats. But I got a
Most
question,
likely.
maybe. So what's on the right that's appealing to you?
What's on the right that's appealing to me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so what you want about Trump, he has a pair of balls, and that I just do not see that with the Democrat Party and leadership.
What does that mean?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Balls. Balls, man. I mean, legislating on balls. Think about
Yeah,
that.
I'm just saying, man. He just got a pair of nothing demonstrated. He just got a pair of balls. This is
Think
what I
about that.
mean. Like, if you got your self-esteem caught up in who you're actually voting for, to the point where you have to come out and say dumb shit like this, like, bro, you look extremely fucking crazy. Because there ain't no way you can explain that statement and not look insane.
It's not possible. You're saying black men are sitting here going to the right to get on their knees to literally jiggle this guy's balls? I mean, it's
I mean, because he got
incredible. It's incredible.
And it's always weak men who need other strong figures to actually believe in. It's just some dumbass shit. God, all right, let's keep going.
Oh, whoa,
Sir,
whoa,
could you
wait a
explain
second here.
that?
Wait a second here. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you heard what you heard. I mean, hopefully you can explain it.
Yeah, I don't. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't see Democrats push for stuff that they claim they want at all. Like, for
You
example,
mean like the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act? You don't see them pushing that?
no, not effectively enough, because when
Okay, so
Biden
who's
was,
voting against
hold on,
that?
wait a minute, let me finish.
Okay.
Because when Biden was doing Build Back Better, I didn't say anything. I tried to stay quiet. So I was like, okay, let me see what they're going to do. And it ended up being, well, they got a little bit, but it was nowhere near what they were talking about.
Okay, so let's stop right here. What party was voting against what he wanted to do in that bill?
Republicans.
How come he couldn't go? Okay,
No
so
shit.
are you for the Republican Party for him not getting more than what he needed, or are you for the Democratic Party, the person who you was waiting for to put a whole bunch of stuff in that bill?
Say that again. So just to
Okay,
clarify.
so for this specific issue, if Biden was trying to put a whole bunch of stuff in the Build Back Better, which did work, by the way, because we got Biden economics going on right now. So if Biden was doing things to try to help the economy,
Mm-hmm.
and the Republican Party was trying to push for more tax cuts in the bill rather than social programs and all that kind of stuff.
As we're
that actually
Democrats, but go ahead.
No, it's for everybody in the country, regardless of where you live. It isn't no either or.
No, I was saying Democrats will push for tax cuts too, but go ahead.
not as many as the Republican Party.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Okay. So in this specific instance, what was it on the Republican side that the Republicans was bringing up about the Build Back Better plan that you liked that they was putting in?
None of it really, but
What
Okay.
the fuck?
So none of it you liked that the Republican Party was doing. Okay. So you don't like the Republican plan, so you must like most of what Biden was doing, correct?
correct.
Okay. So when you did not participate in the actual process, you do realize you're leveraging everybody else's collective participation in the process when it came to the Build Back Better plan. And it's everything that happens in politics. When you do not participate and you do not pick a side, you're literally making it hard for everybody else who does pick a side. Even if you're a Republican, if you sit at home, if you stay out, you cannot say that you want progress. Because progress comes
Okay, I
from
don't agree with that,
participation.
but okay.
Okay. Again, let's go over it. How does progress happen when you don't participate in a representative democracy, where was based on you showing up? How does progress happen your way? With your understanding of how the system works, 200 some years, how does the actual system work your way?
Well, how the system works is when enough people stop showing up, sooner or later, one side's gonna have to break.
Not necessarily. Okay, so I got a question. You watch sports at all?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay. Let's go with basketball. You do realize a team can decide to forfeit any game that they want to, or all games if they want to, correct?
Correct.
When one side forfeits, who wins that battle?
The other side.
Again, so you understand how sports work, but you don't understand how politics work. Because you want people to stay home that's going to send a message. The only message you're going to send is the other people are just going to walk through with the victory.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that you have to continuously actually participate if you continuously want incremental change. It requires constant participation in order for that to work and in order for that to happen. Because you understand it when it comes to sports, but you want people to stay at home when it comes to politics. So you understand that forfeiting the game, you don't get anything out of forfeiting the game. You don't get to complain about the game that you forfeited. Once you forfeit the game, that means you lost. You don't have any leverage by not showing up to not play. The only leverage that you have is clean clothes. That's the only leverage that you have in a situation like that.
Okay.
And AB, I want to let you know. I just want to say this real quick. The Republicans, the right, whatever you want to call them, they don't represent majority of the country. So when you don't vote, you're essentially voting for them. So it's kind of like because they need.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. How long think you gonna tell people that bullshit?
How is it bullshit?
It's not. It's literally how the
It's horse shit, and you know it.
How is it horse shit? So Trump won. So when Trump won, right? You do know that when Trump won, Hillary did not get the amount of votes that Obama got.
That's Hillary's damn fault. That's not Trump's fault.
But black people didn't. But black people didn't show up like they did.
That's Hillary's damn fault. That's not our fault. Why is that our problem?
Sir.
Why is that our problem?
AB Media.
She didn't do what she needed to do to get our vote. Why is that our problem?
What I'm trying to convey, bro. What I'm trying to convey, brother, is just that when you don't vote, that's what vote for Republican, because they that's what they're very man. That's what they're trying to stop black people from voting now. That's the point. You're not you're saying it
and the way the white numbers are diminishing, they can't do that forever. You think we don't see that shit? They can't do that forever. Sooner or later, they're gonna have to bend.
Okay. What's the timeline then, sir? If this is your plan,
I don't know the timeline.
What is your timeline?
What year is that gonna happen?
I don't know.
So then you can't bank on that. You got to just go what you know now, and what we know now is when black people don't show up and vote, that's a vote for Republicans. That they need
So
black
what?
people.
So what?
What
Why
do you
should
mean,
we kiss
so
the Democrat
what?
Party's
That's
ass? That's
fascism.
what I'm talking about. Why should we kiss the Democrat Party's ass like
It's not.
that?
It's not kissing. It's not kissing
Yes, it
ass.
is.
No, you saying Trump had balls? That's kissing ass. That's not. No, that's actual kissing ass. You're kissing Trump's ass. That's not kissing Democrats' ass by voting. Like, what do you like? That didn't make sense.
I mean, at least we're voting off policy. I mean, you know, you're voting off a dude got a pair of balls. You didn't say how big the balls were, what he was doing with the balls, what kind of policy was passed off the balls. What's going on here?
You holding Trump?
We're asking for specifics.
No, Trump's an asshole. Yeah,
What
Trump
is
is
that?
an asshole. Trump's an asshole. I don't kiss his ass.
No, you said he had big balls. That's why you voted. You said, I asked you what appeals to you on the right. You said Trump got big balls. That was your answer. You didn't say anything about a policy. You didn't say anything about a piece of legislation. No forms, no acts. You didn't say anything. You said Trump got big balls.
Well, look. Now, as far as the reason I actually voted for Trump is because I thought he was the lesser of two evils.
Okay,
Biden,
that's fine.
No, he didn't do everything.
You didn't vote though.
No, I voted in 2020.
Okay.
I didn't vote in 2022. I voted in 2020.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And for the record, I voted ever since I was 18. I'm 40 now. I voted ever since I was 18. And mostly
yes, I seen it in
Democrat.
Art No Stall. Yeah. I seen it in Art No Stall chat when you did say that. So, all right. So,
And up to 2016, mostly Democrat.
AB Media. If you
What?
Wow.
Since 18, you voted mostly Democrat, but you waited for you waited to become an escalator Republican. He's seen balls coming down the fucking escalator, man.
Incredible.
Like, okay, you live in Indianapolis. You know that you have a Republican House, Republican Senate, U.S. and statewide. You're not dumb. You voted for the Liberal Party until the orange man came down the fucking escalator. Nagone, what the fuck is happening here? what the fuck is going on, man?
I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, these are disgruntled liberals. You know, disgruntled people on the left. You know, they want to. You know, they're being contrarian because they can, and you know, he's got an interest here. You know, where he's maybe thinking he can make some money. Maybe he can get on the formula grift and do a lot better. Because he has no policy, he has no policy positions. He hasn't expressed anything at all except big nuts to this guy. And I don't know what really. I have to be very frank with you. I don't really know what else to say to something like this. I
don't know, man.
We were there on the show.
He started getting mad, though. And it's like his own misunderstanding of how the process works is making him angry.
Hey, listen.
What the fuck?
I understand why he was getting angry. He's getting frustrated. He didn't have anything to say. He didn't have anything to really put forward. He felt like he was being cornered at some level. He couldn't answer anything. So of course he's going to get angry. He's going to get angry. He's not prepared to deal with any of this stuff. I get it. I certainly get it. He knows, and part of his frustration is he knows a little bit better as well. He knows a little bit better, but he knows he can't defend a lot of this stuff. He comes up here, he can't defend it. He can't defend it, and that's a big part of the issue. He can't defend it. So well, what's the bottom line here? He's got big balls. That's the whole thing. I mean, there it is in a nutshell. So I mean, it's ludicrous, but that is what these guys are. A lot of them are pushing. And they can't go anywhere with these talking points. They can't go anywhere with them. Anywhere.
Not at all.
There's nowhere to go with it. So this is what these guys do. They take these ridiculous positions, can't defend them. Sees it as crazy. I remember him specifically saying, on a live stream we had maybe a little less than a year ago, maybe or so. I forget what the time frame was, but he's like, well, yeah, I guess we got to go with the left right now because we don't have any place to go with the right. He said this.
Yeah, he did.
He said this himself. He understands that. That's why I know this is a grift. That's why I can't sit here and say this guy's dumb. He's crazy. He doesn't. I can't even say that because I know this guy knows better. I know it. So he's sitting here trying to defend the indefensible. Let him continue to do so. And let others.
That shit funny as fuck.
Let him.
Fuck. Let that nigga go, man. Go ahead, bro. Bro. Over 2/3, over 3/4 majority in all state houses. Republican governor, 2 Republican senators, completely own the state house, own the House of Representatives, but you still in Indianapolis thinking that you about to run some type of game on these dudes? No, sir. That is not what's happening here today, sir.
Not going to happen. And then when we start to call people out on misinformation, they get upset.
Yeah,
they get upset.
Misinformation is only for politicians, not for dumb niggas. Of course not. Of course not.
They get upset when you start to question them on misinformation.
Yeah.
And being a misinformation hub, and then you have guys coming here putting a lot of this stuff out. You call them out on it, they get angry.
And I'm kind of sick of this dumb nigga immunity idol shit too, man. Like, you have supposed educated people who know better pushing dumb nigga immunity idol level bullshit. When you be like, nah, man, like, bro, like you just can't come around here saying this stupid ass shit, man. Like, you got to be able to have a side pick and acquit yourself on a panel like an actual rational adult. So that way we can get some things done, man. Like, you just can't have people just out here just acting like this for no reason, man. This shit is fucking stupid as fuck.
I mean, it's crazy trying to defend the indefensible. It's
bro,
crazy.
You're in Indianapolis. It's almost like I could guarantee you. I don't even have to look up the Mississippi legislature. It's like 95% to 5%. For the state house and the state, well, 1/10 state house and the state senate.
Yeah.
And it's like, now those dudes are doing fine because we went to high school together. They went to Howard, they're big time attorneys, and one is the actual Mississippi state senator, and the other one is the mayor of the city that I'm from. So they're doing fine. But everyone else's level of participation all over the state is just trash. And it's like, bro, they have a different understanding of politics just because of where they're at. This guy has the same thing that's going on in Mississippi. You're on the left. Make no mistake about it. Because if you're on the right, you ain't got shit to complain about. Especially not more left-wing shit.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And once again, we've said this time and time before, but we'll say it again. If you're for this 18-point agenda and all of this that you're saying, you want to, what side would that get done on? I mean, most of it's been done through the Black Congressional Caucus. Anyway, we already know this, but for some of the other parts of let's say this document would have, and it's for Black men specifically. Where's that getting done? Where's that going to get done? That's going to get done on the far right.
If they're getting rid of DEI programs, what the fuck make you think they're going to do a black male agenda? Like, I question the intelligence level, not of the people who are grifting, but the people who fall for the shit.
Yeah, because we know the grifters right here to try to make as much as they can. We understand that they're selling out, they're selling a certain way, and it's for the money.
They need an unchanging environment in order to run their bullshit.
Yeah.
Unchanging, non-participation, non-progressing individuals to lead them down a predictable path of nothingness.
Well, to a large extent, they're running a voter suppression campaign.
They are.
What they really are doing are sitting here and saying, listen, sit home, don't do anything, but it was not happening. You know, talking a lot of this crap all so people don't tend to come out. That's more so of what they're tending to run as opposed to anything else. Because not a lot of people are going to be running out supporting a lot of this craziness and silliness that these guys are actually talking about. And black men, quite frankly, across this country are not stupid. They know who their friends and who their enemies are. Black men know
historically and otherwise.
And I mean, this is not anything that is strange or alien to us. We know who they are. Let's keep it a buck. We see it every day.
But the emotionality of it is, oh well, I'm just gonna sabotage everything because a new system is just gonna pop up out of nowhere out of the ashes of the previous system.
It's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
man, look, fuck out of here, like, bro, like, bro, you're gonna wake up one day, Jesus is gonna be on the money. Like, bro, like you don't know what your non-participation is going to lead to. You might as well go to a state where shit works, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like how when I took people from Mississippi to Colorado, and the concept of public transportation blew their fucking mind. They was like, "You mean there is a bus that's going to take you from one side of the city to the other, and you're gonna only pay $2.30 to go from Aurora, the Aurora Mall, and you're gonna end up at the Bronco Stadium by going down Colfax. That's
Mm.
not possible. It's not fucking possible." I'm like, yeah, man, just pay the $2.30 and just take the 9 all the way down. I mean, it's gonna take your ass like an hour. They got a lot of fucking stops. They don't stop every fucking block and a half, but you're gonna end up there someday.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how come we didn't have it? 'Cause they don't fucking have that in the South. Like they don't have that. It's kind of like rural Alabama and shit. Like they don't have mass transit. They don't care about that shit. I mean, they don't even
Yeah.
have mass transit in most places in Texas. Texas is bigger than a motherfucker. They ain't got no mass transit in Texas.
Mm.
There ain't no
Yeah.
mass transit taking you multiple places in Dallas, multiple places in San Antonio.
Yeah.
That ain't what's going on there.
That's a fact. I mean, so
Yeah, man. Well, let's listen to more of this Village Idiot, man. Let's get our Village Idiot on, man.
I don't care who you vote for. I want you to show up and participate, man. Every time. I want you to participate. I don't give a damn who's on the ballot. I don't give a damn what's on the ballot. Can we get you silent ballots to just at least participate in the process, please?
Sure.
All right. So, guess we made some progress today. All right. No further questions from me.
And for the record, I don't necessarily, if you want to participate, that's fine. I'm not necessarily telling people that want to participate not to participate. But if you're tired of them, I'm not going to say anything. If you want to sit it out.
No. I mean, but that's what you said earlier, that you want people to not participate, so that way the system's going to get better at some point. So you can't say that you're not for that when you
No.
literally just said that a little while ago. Okay. Maybe I heard it wrong. Could you clean up your statement?
Yeah. I'm not necessarily I want everybody to sit down at home and not participate. Well, first of all, we both know that's not going to happen. There's some people that they're going to vote for the left no matter what I do. I know that. But I'm just speaking to the people that are tired of some of the stuff the left is doing. Maybe an option is not to participate.
Okay.
The message. And
that's why I asked you the question. How do you get what you want if you don't participate in the people who do show up and they do participate? Now it's becoming circular because you say that you understand how the system works. and you're trying to leverage the people who are frustrated, because the people who are frustrated, they don't understand the process. If they simply understood the process and knowing that most of this vote is stopping bad shit from happening rather than getting stuff, this stuff will be way better off. Trust me, I'm from Mississippi.
So
You
now we're
don't even
just
show up to
voting.
vote down there.
So now we're just voting to stop bad shit from happening.
Yes,
That's
Yes, to
that's
stop
part of
to
voting.
stop fascism. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, can
You're
I
not
can I ask a question? Can I ask him a question?
you're not stopping fascism, but go ahead, Complex.
Bro, you
Okay.
What?
So you name me any point in time in American history, right, in terms of politics, where the political system auto or self-corrected itself.
Never.
Okay. So then explain to me the efficacy of inactivity when it comes to voting and being engaged in the political process.
Okay, repeat your question, just so I can click.
If that is the case, then explain to me what are the advantages of not doing anything with regards to the political process, i.e. voting, running for positions yourself, lobbying.
As you said, you guys are voting to stop bad things from happening. The definition of insanity is doing.
Wait, hold on a second. That's not exactly what I said. I said that a lot of voting is making sure that bad things don't happen. That's not the specific reason why people vote. There are candidates there. There are ballot initiatives. There's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's not just primarily that. It's that plus. It's not an either or. It's a not only but also.
Okay, but I want to follow up on this because you said you're an independent.
Yes.
So am I. I'm a registered independent here in California, and I'm trying to understand where you're coming from as an independent. Like, what is as an independent? Because I can tell you mine. I'll be more than happy to disclose all of it, right? But what is your reasoning for identifying as an independent? Do you have some sort of special interest?
I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with either party on how in the direction. I agree with some things, and on some circumstances with the Democrat Party, and some things with the Republican Party. But
okay. No, I was letting you finish, bro. I'm sorry.
But I just pick up. As MOT said, when I go to the voting booth now, I just pick a side, and I try to listen to both candidates, and I do understand because you're in Mississippi, right? On MOT.
No. I was born in Mississippi. I actually live in Colorado.
Okay.
In Colorado.
Now, certainly, I can there are some Republicans. I would never tell anybody to vote for the Republicans in Mississippi. No, you can't vote for those dudes. As MOT said, you do need to pick a side down there.
So which Republican you should vote for? Give me an example. Give me an example. Give me a Republican.
What? The question wasn't that hard, man.
That's different than Tate Reeves.
I mean, what voting state are you in?
Indiana.
Is that where you vote at, or that's where you live at? You go across
Indiana,
Illinois, or do you?
Yeah, Indiana.
Oh my God! Like, what Republican?
Do you? Okay. Are there any politicians registered as independents that you support in Indiana?
Not at this time.
There's none that are running as independents.
No, I haven't seen anybody run as an independent.
Okay. The
it's
reason why
usually
I'm
Democrat
asking,
or Republican.
Well, no, but but see, you yourself can register as an independent, and what I'm trying to pin down is your reasoning for doing it. Because like I said, I'm a registered independent, but I can tell you why I am. Because see, I vote my business interest, and because of this, I have to be indifferent. I have to largely be indifferent. I have to deal with if there's a Republican government in office in my city or in my state or whatever it is, or if it's a Democrat-led government. As an independent, I have to have indifference to know how to deal with both. That's why I'm like, okay, are you an independent for the right reasons or the wrong reasons? Because what I don't like is I don't like people who I don't like people who take this position right here, right, and then will talk shit, right, about dudes like us, even though we have legitimate reasons for being either independent or quote unquote leftist, as you guys like to call it. There's like this real kind of gaslighting catch-all phrase that has way more nuance to it. So this is why I'm asking you, what is it? Why specifically are you independent? And based on what I'm getting, it's just because both sides have BS going on.
No, I'm an independent for, like, as you said, for my interests.
Right, and that's what I asked you. What are those interests?
Yeah.
My interest is affordable health care.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You just said that you didn't want universal health care, which would lower healthcare costs. Now you said the first issue out of your mouth was lower healthcare
I never said that. Wait a minute. I never said that.
No. What he said, MOT,
I never said that.
He said how he identified. He said how he identifies a leftist. It's somebody who's for it.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, I never said I never wanted lower healthcare costs.
But then when you be a leftist, then
yeah. So this is the first issue out of your mouth?
Yeah, that was the first thing you said. You said you identify leftists by people who are for universal health care, and then now you're saying you for affordable health care. Like,
let's take a pause here. 226 even. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back, and we're gonna listen to AB Media again.
I don't hear people talking about this. So when you say the left, what is your perspective on the left? How do you define that?
How do I define the left? People who are for universal health care.
What the fuck did we just hear? Okay. Let's move it forward. Let's move it forward. Let's move it forward. Because I know I didn't hear what I thought I heard. But let's.
As you said, you guys are voting to stop bad things from happening. The definition of a scam.
Hold on a second. A little bit forward.
Like, what is as an independent? Because I can tell you mine. I'll be more than happy to disclose all of it, right? But what is your reasoning for identifying as an independent? Do you have some sort of special interest?
I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with either party on how in the direction. I agree with some things, and on some circumstances with the Democrat Party, and some things with the Republican Party. But
okay. No, I was letting you finish, bro. I'm sorry.
But I just pick up. I do understand because you're in Mississippi, right on MLT.
No. I was born.
Let's go back to the 26 even mark.
Right. I understand what you're saying, bro.
Citizen Lou. Here's the point I'm trying to highlight. I don't want to be gaslit by another quote unquote independent. Do you guys follow where I'm going with this shit?
I'm not trying to lie to you.
Well, I ain't saying you're trying to lie. I'm saying you're gaslighting us.
Okay, how?
Because how the shit that you talked that Mike played earlier in this live stream from last night on your live stream, and then now you're over here, and now we're seeing what time it really is. And I'm saying you're talking to another independent here. So now I'm really kind of checking your temperature right about now. What has you being an independent? Now you said affordable health care. I can actually go with that.
Me too.
And I just want to know, what are your interests? I want to know more about your political position, given the opinions that you had about us.
What are my political interests? Okay.
Yeah, you said affordable health care. What else?
Reasonable government. Reasonable.
That's vague. Be more specific. That's vague.
Be more specific. reasonable government. Not too much government regulation, but enough.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What the fuck is this nigga talking about?
Are you saying at the
Okay.
federal level or are you saying at the state level?
Federal
Because there's two
level.
different regulations.
Federal
What
level.
about the state? I mean, your state, your state really regulates where you are, right? Like, for example, Keystone Pipeline wouldn't be able to pass through a place like Massachusetts. That no one in the state would ever tolerate that because the regulations for oil drilling and pipelines would never pass. But in conservative states, that passes just fine, right? So when it comes to state regulation versus Fed, it starts at the state level and not necessarily at the federal level, because states' rights and federal laws don't always commingle with each other. So although the Fed may have some regulation, that doesn't always mean that states are going to adhere to it, right? That's like the Second Amendment is one regulation where states have, conservative states have basically absolved themselves from any sort of federal intervention. You understand that part, right?
Yeah.
So what's the state choice?
Right. So mostly, yeah, which is their choice. But when you say less regulation, well, let's look at the last 3 mass shootings. In every single instance of these mass shootings, whether it's Buffalo, Uvalde, the other one down in is it Dallas, where the Latino, white, Hispanic went on a rampage in the mall? They got those guns legally. How much less regulation needs to be restricted or absolved to satisfy you in that area?
We need universal background class. Universal background checks. Background checks.
Another exclusively left-wing policy. Who do you think is voting against that? The gun lobby is against that, and the Republicans against that. They want like pocket tanks in the hands of like blind people. They don't give a fuck. It's like, what's going on, man?
But I'm just saying, these guys, they don't know their positions. They don't have I mean, once again, as I say, when you listen to what he and others, remember, he's not alone. There are others who will say, well, this is the changes, this is what I want to see, or whatever. They are mostly on the left.
They are.
They're
Like,
mostly.
He asked them. He said healthcare. He said universal background checks. It's like, don't you realize these are left-wing fucking issues?
These are left issues, and they, and he would agree with left issues because these are things that really affect us. In fact, Black people, in most respects, the most. We want to see these things certainly really relieved in some way. Most of these people, once again, as we say, are very, very, very left-oriented. They're disgruntled, and in some ways, they're disgruntled over some various things. Mostly, they didn't get everything that they wanted on the left, and that's primarily what really drives a lot of these guys. But
I don't get what I want on the left, therefore I troll left.
That's exactly right. I haven't gotten everything. I haven't gotten everything that I want or that you should be, giving me. That's primarily what you see. I don't see anything from a policy perspective that really boils down to right-leaning policies. The right-leaning policies that I do see, such as revoking your voting rights, or cutting them back to the fat, knocking out DEI, and these and many of these other policies that they're coming in that are reducing your rights. Certainly, that we see coming from the left. I don't see where these people are necessarily so supporting those, but yet they're supporting the right because a president who they say is looking out for them hasn't
Really
shown
despise.
this, says you got balls. I mean, you just none of this makes sense. It doesn't make sense when you break it all down. But this is the positions that these people are taking, and you
Like
know,
a huge favor because this guy's about to admit something because everything he says is left wing based, and then it has to be like, head pat. Hey man, did you know you're on the left? Did you know this? Like the entire time that you're on the left. All right, so let's get to the moment of truth.
I do believe in that, even for the gun shows.
There's a
But
specific
that- but
political
that
party that
is-
doesn't want that to happen.
I know, and they're stupid
Right.
for that, and I don't dispute that. We got to be reasonable. Don't get it twisted. I am not for taking everybody's gun, but we do need reasonable. That's what I mean by reasonable government regulation.
Okay, well, that's a left wing issue, like the healthcare left wing issue. Universal background checks at gun stores, definitely a left wing issue.
Defunding the ATF, definitely a right wing issue.
Tax and ammunition, the amount of ammunition that's caused for mass destruction over a certain amount of cartridges and bullets. That's how I think. I think that's the best way to do it. But yeah, what else, man? So what other issues you got, AB? Because it sounded pretty leftist.
Yeah, I mean, do you have like some purely right wing things that only right wing people does that's not been brought up? Because I mean, the healthcare thing definitely left. The actual universal background checks is definitely a left wing thing. So do you have anything that's purely?
That's both sides. So that's not really, that's a moot point. Are you against welfare?
No.
Oh, well, you're a leftist. I mean, you're a leftist. Sorry to tell you.
But that's a moot point too, because most of them are on welfare too.
That's not what. No, most red states are welfare babies. Let's keep it real.
That's my point. Yeah, most of them are on welfare. Exactly.
Especially in rural America. I mean, if it wasn't for welfare and Section 8, like, come on, man. There would be no rural America without that.
Yeah, and I see your point about rural America. I don't know if I can live there where they vote for those kind of Republicans.
You're definitely on the left.
Yeah, you on the left though. Like I said, sorry to inform you, bro. You on the left, man.
Okay.
Well, at least we got somewhere.
We want you to show up. We want you to show up every election, though. You got to be counted and you got to be heard. It's probably not going to help in Indiana, depending on what a place where you live at, unless it's like Indianapolis.
Well, see, that's the other problem. And see, in Indiana, the Democrats here are basically want to be Republicans.
I know they have to be because of what the state is. I mean, it's no different in Mississippi. All those people who are quote unquote blue state Democrats, dude, they're nothing but blue chip, blue dog Democrats. There are no real liberals in the South like that. But that's what you have when you live in areas like where you live at, and like areas like where I'm from. I know damn well like any of those people, because a friend of mine is actually a Mississippi state senator, and his stuff is deeply conservative. He don't like it, but he has to take those positions because he's in Mississippi.
Okay.
AB, it's been good chatting it up, chopping it up with you. You have any last thoughts before we exit out?
No, not right now.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks for coming through, bro.
No problem.
All right, peace, y'all. Peace, AB.
Peace.
You shut it down, Mike?
Yeah.
All right. So at the end of the day, we have found our vote Butthurt Blue. The Butthurt Blue is AB Media. That is the Butthurt Blue. As much as he tried to characterize this shit on the other people and put this shit on other people, the butt hurt blue was AB Media. Cause go, my blue area worked just fine. What about New York?
Working fine. Working
What
fine.
about Mike in Boston? Guarantee you Boston working just fine. Guess whose blue area is not working out for them? AB fucking Media.
Damn. That's about
Damn.
the
Damn.
that's about the short and long of it.
Damn.
Damn.
The butt hurt blue was AB Media. I knew this was Colonel Mustard the first time they said those fucking glasses. Knew it was Colonel Mustard.
There
So
it
the
is.
vote blue, no matter who, is AB Media. And he tried to run all this interference on everyone else when he is the primary person who wants to benefit from liberal policies, but he lives in a conservative state and area. Holy shit, AB.
And they and in that state they're cutting them back to the fat meat.
Yes, they are. Butt hurt blue. God. Man. This is great. We found out that Butt Hurt Blue is AB Media. Everybody else's left wing city worked just fine. But when you have plus a 75% and above outnumbered supermajority in the state houses, state senate, U.S. House, U.S. Senate, what are you talking about? If you're on the left, you're in Terre Haute, you're in Indianapolis, you're in Evansville, you are in South Bend, or you're in fucking Gary. And if you're not in those areas, that's where you can truly say that you're on the right. Because those places are definitely left wing strongholds.
Definitely.
God, as your words of wisdom, I think we've seen all we needed to see here. you know how you have that motherfucker like that breast pocket song. You get like the little motherfucker. That sewing tool that they use to to cut the pocket over. Like no. The pocket is sewn closed. Can't be sewn closed. You
gotta cut it.
The guy was like, "Look, I got a black rose." I'm like, "Oh, this nigga's about to go down." He has no fucking idea that your ass is up next. Like, oh shit, your ass is about to be down there with the Ninja Turtles.
MOT, that's where we are with this. I know AB has done his best to try to cover, but
I know, man. This dude is blue wing, like dude. All he does is troll women who don't want him. That's definitely some liberal shit. Stop playing with us.
And at the end of the day, what are they really disgruntled about? They are disgruntled about Keisha, this black female. They are very disgruntled about her, and what position she has, and what they feel that's going to be taken from them by Keisha. The Democrats are controlling that, and somehow the Republicans are going to get their women in line. That's what that's a lot of what we're dealing with here, and a lot don't want to talk about that, but that's the crux of a lot of this, because everything else is mindless. It doesn't make sense. But when you begin to put the Keisha question at the center, this is where we're at.
I mean, you can't get a better display than what we just did here.
No, this has been broken down. I would have to almost say didactically, and I'm going to say this as well. Nobody's cracking or breaking on AB and calling him all kind of names. They're totally unnecessary. This is not.
That's why you start the live stream with the actual what is going on in Indiana. You show that these people are not only 2/3 majority. These people are like fucking 75% majority in every house that can make sense. So if his issue is actually health care, how are you going to be able to get health care when your governor is a fucking Republican?
Not going to get it. And your state
not ever going to get it.
And your state house. You've got to do work there, getting involved at the grassroots level and start, changing the complexion. And I don't just mean physical complexion, but the political complexion of your state legislature.
Yes.
Okay. You're going to have to start there and start to get your state legislature more in line with what your interests really are and start to move things around. Because if your state legislature, as it operates like the federal, once you're in control of your legislature, your governor, now all of a sudden he's got to either, make executive orders or so forth. He's not going to be able to get to a lot of what he wants unless he has the legislature behind him, and he's going to have to cut deals. Then he's going to be a deal maker to stay in. So when that happens, things start to move. That's where this has to really operate at. But a lot of people don't want to talk about that. They don't look at the local political side of things. But that's really how things really work here in this country, more so. And if you're not operating at that level, you can talk the federal all day long, but your state legislature is going to play a big role in your healthcare, housing, and all of this.
Always.
That money comes down to the states, and then it filters down into your cities. So from your town council to your state legislatures, you have to ultimately understand what's going on there and start to really work from that perspective. Guys like AB and them, any issues they have, that's what's got them. That's what's got them by the scruff of their neck, and you have to deal with it from there.
Yeah, man. I want to thank you for coming on, man. This has been a real eye-opening experience, but Butthurt Blue is AB Media. I mean, who knew, man? Who knew? Who knew?
It's been wonderfully broken down. MOT, listen, I appreciate you inviting me up.
There are smoking guns, but I think we found the smoking helmet. The smoking chin strap.
All right, MOT, thank you very much. I have to go.
All right, man. You have a nice one, man. Yeah. So, again, all this right-wing interference, and at the end of the day, you want better left-wing outcomes. And you cannot name a single solitary way to get that stuff done. This is crazy. But I want to thank you guys for coming through. And the reason why I do this is you have to go in your state and do exactly what I did in his state. Start out where you live at. Where does the House make up? Where does the Senate make up? U.S. and state base. Who's the governor? Who's the majority of people within the areas? You don't want better left-wing outcomes? Chances are you got a right-wing legislature that ain't for that. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'm the man of tomorrow. You guys have a really nice rest of y'all night. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe on the way out.